All right, Alex James.
Yes, sir, my brother Addison. We are back for another episode of
Three pillars of man.
I am Alex James. I'm with my brother.
Addison Corbin.
And today we are going to talk about hard truths of reality. And what inspired us to talk about this topic today is from the Chris Williamson Modern Wisdom podcast episode with Alex Hormozy, where they were talking about the 41 hard truths. So we're going to do our own version, and we're going to talk about the hard truths that we had to learn through our 31 years of life. So I have a couple I'm just going to list off, and then after that, we'll dig deeper. So I have 10 hard truths about reality. Are you ready to hear them, my brother?
Let's go.
Number one, no one will remember you in 100 years, not even your name. Two, your problems aren't unique. They've happened to millions before you. Three, you are not the main character in anyone else's story. Four, most people care more about themselves than about you. Five, legacy fades faster than you think. Six, pain is inevitable. Avoiding it makes you weaker. Seven, blaming circumstances never changes them. Eight, no one is coming to save you. We've said that a lot of times. Nine, your comfort zone is a slow death sentence. And 10, most goals take far longer to achieve than you think. Now, I do have more harsh truths about reality, but just wanted to stop at 10. So, my brother Addison, one, which one of those 10 harsh truths resonates with you the most? Or you can talk about hard truths that you have personally learned throughout your life.
Mm. All those are good.
Yeah, yeah.
All those are real good. Uh, I believe that what was the one that you said about blaming circumstance?
Blaming circumstances never changes them.
Yeah. The only thing that can get you out of a place that you're in is massive action.
Yeah,
Um,
agreed.
before the podcast, we were kind of talking about um, my career,
Yeah,
and choosing the path that I've chosen.
yeah.
And I think a lot of people miss the idea of sales,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what it actually is. Everybody's like, "Oh, your job's easy," right? That's a common misconception about real estate. Is the process of buying a home simple? Sure, right? The idea of it is, you find a house you like,
Yeah.
in the eye of the consumer, you find a house you like, you write an offer on it, and you close.
Yeah. The concept sounds simple.
Right.
Yes.
The process of everything that's involved. A good agent is meant to do that, right? They're meant to make it seem effortless.
Right.
But not necessarily what we're talking about today is going to be like real estate related or
Yeah,
whatever,
but yeah.
the idea of sales, right? And a lot of it's driven from market, consumer, how much you work, all of these things matter. But the past couple of months, we were behind on goal, behind on numbers, behind on units. Just everything was low. and a lot of the market was just not. People just weren't buying houses a lot
Yeah.
over the past couple months.
Yeah.
That's changed over the past couple weeks, and I was telling you, like, completely transparent, bro. I was burning.
Yeah.
Like I was burning on finances. I was burning on mental clarity.
Oh yeah.
I was burning on, physically. I was just everything was all my hours and days were spent in this office. Um, Ultimately, it all worked
It all
out,
worked out.
right?
Absolutely.
Over the past 2 months,
Yeah.
like this year has been a little slow, I think, across the board for everybody, but it's I was at the point where I was like, bro, I again at that point where I was like, bro, I don't want to be here. I don't. When I say that, I don't want to be. I don't want to be in this state.
Right.
Um, and yeah, I say all of that to say this.
Yeah.
Everything was fixed based off of massive action that was performed. I didn't get stuck in like, oh, woe is me, the market's not good, no one's buying houses, right? Because none of that changes anything about where I'm at.
Nothing whatsoever.
My oh man, my expenses are so high. Like I chose all of the things that I've chosen up to this point.
Yeah.
I can't blame anything other than where I'm at based off of the action that I've been performing over the past year.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, we're up.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
We're up, but and so kind of making some movement, but that's the one that means the most because I feel like so many people just get caught up in like, oh man, this isn't working out the way I wanted it to, or blaming the fact that they don't have money or they're not healthy or they're not physically prepared, mentally clear based off all this other stuff.
All negative. All negative
And
stuff.
and sometimes it's not even negative, bro. Sometimes it's just like, oh, this didn't work out because of this.
Right.
Right? It doesn't have to be, a negative connotation to it. It's just like, why are you caught up in this shit that you can't control?
Have no right. Don't right. You have no control whatsoever.
Right? Like, why?
Right.
Like it does nothing.
Absolutely. It actually makes you feel worse
Mm-hmm.
about yourself and about your situation that you're in. And, while we was talking before this, it's, like you said, the thing that saved you from going down this rabbit hole of shit, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like you said, you implemented action.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing you can do in those situations because it's like, it's almost like your back's against the wall. So it's like, all right, where you going now?
Yeah.
Can't go backwards. Your back's against the wall. So your only choice is to move forward or crawl into a field position.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. It's just like, and we talked about it in previous episodes where we talked about, nobody's here to save you. Like nobody's gonna, people can help and people can assist you in a, unfortunate circumstance that you're in. But at the end of the day, you know, they're doing that out just being nice and, just being helpful and everything. But that's not something you should depend on. That's not something you should bank on, as I should say. You shouldn't bank on it. You gotta get yourself out of those situations. And that's the thing that, I like that hard truth because it is so easy for us to just complain and bitch and oh man, I didn't get this job because of this, or I didn't get this, I didn't go to the gym because it was raining. It was raining outside. There are not there are so many excuses that you can say why you didn't do something, and and then how I also look at it too is like I know for me, it gets to a point where it's like okay, I've used every excuse in the book now.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what? what else can I say that I haven't said about this situation? And once I realized that I don't have nothing to say, I've said it. It's like either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
And most of us miss that. I've missed it. You've missed it at times, but that's what I think. That's what this overall podcast is. I think that's what we're trying to instill in people is it is you have to hold yourself accountable to make sure you're making the progress that you envision for yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, whose fault is it ultimately?
Yeah. And you know, there's so many ways to go into this. Like from the sales side of it, being upset that someone terminated a transaction, right?
Right.
Being upset that like, well, maybe you shouldn't have only had one deal on the board.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe that's the process. Maybe you shouldn't have just had one thing on the board. Maybe you should have done more work. Maybe you shouldn't have been leaving at 3 o'clock.
Right.
Right? On the back end of this, or on the next side, people thinking that the government's responsibility is to help the people. It's not. Your responsibility as a human being is to take life by the balls and handle it.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And yes, are there circumstances where, you know, people can't provide for themselves, or whatever? There are those moments. Physically can't,
Yes.
or
Yes.
mentally can't.
That's a whole different situation.
That's a different situation. But if you are healthy, you have no reason why you can't get up and get it.
Right.
And oh, dude, that frustrates me so much, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, well, I can't do it because of this, or I can't. I These people got lucky because of this, or this got, what? Just, bro, I can't.
It's like, bro, why are you blaming? Why are you so focused on trying to blame somebody or blame a situation or blame your environment or whatever? You know, I think of it like this: like you look at some of these professional athletes, and when you read their stories, a lot of them came from like broken homes or humble beginnings, or didn't have a pot to piss in.
Right.
But then, not saying that they didn't get help along the way, but they ultimately, one, they cashed in on their gift, which was they can, they're talented basketball players, football, whatever, right? Whatever sport. They realized they had a gift, they cashed in on it, and they're making use of it. And now they're in a position where they can build generational wealth for, their kids, their kids, their kids, kids, and etc. So, it's the funny thing too. It's like you can take a person who came from humble beginnings, and you can take a person who had it all growing up.
Yeah.
The the outcome does not discriminate because you can have somebody who didn't have shit growing up, and now they're millionaires, etc. And then you have somebody who,
bro, I appreciate this conversation.
who had everything, had all of the resources. They had a great parents, two parent home and everything, and they can turn into go to jail, drug addicts. Well, something bad can happen to them. So it don't even necessarily it don't matter where you start in life.
Yeah.
And the thing that is unfortunate about life, and actually this is another harsh truth that I had to realize, is everybody's dealt with a different hand.
Mm-hmm. That starting line is different for everybody.
That starting line is different from everybody, but the destination is for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The starting point might not be for everybody, but the destination is.
So let me ask you this: what is the most important trait that a person can have?
The most important?
Yeah.
Resilience.
So that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is that how much can you withstand?
Yeah.
Under pressure? How much can you withstand under peer pressure?
Right.
How much can you withstand under the need for discipline, or whatever it is? The resilience that you've got to build up,
yes,
as a human being, as a man, is mandatory.
Yeah, it's a must.
And we talk about a lot of the time is like we talk about, choosing hard. And that's not to say like, oh, purposely put yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah, no.
But understand that you know how to maneuver from that, right? Jiu-jitsu is a perfect place for that. Starting in seatbelt position when someone's got your back. And you being the guy in the front.
Yeah.
Right? Like being able to get out of that situation and understand it and purposely putting yourself there.
Yeah.
Is going to make you better in the long run.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
choosing, it's a voluntary discomfort.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, I mean, that can be multiplied in so many places, like, and it can be detrimental, right? If you start liking it too much.
Yeah.
Right? Called a little bit of masochism.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start to like the chaos a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
And I think I have a little bit of that in me, but on the other side of that, I think that it's made me a little bit of the person that I am.
I was going to ask you that. I was like, when you said that you essentially you like the chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you take that trait away from you?
And just have everything be easy, or just like be more of like a stable job.
Maybe I asked the question wrong. That trait you just described.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say it made you? Why do you say that trait made you who you are today?
You mean masochism, or whatever it is? I'm totally butchering that.
Yeah, well, I get what you get.
Or resilience.
I can't even say it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that.
You got Siri?
Yeah.
Ask her to pronounce it.
Masochism. How do you pronounce masochism?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
How do you pronounce masochism? Check it out.
Masochism. I think we said it.
Let me see that.
Wow. I think we said it right. Did it come up?
Oh, it's going up. YouTube. Slight pause. Masochism. It's gotta be it. Masochism.
Yeah,
masochism.
Masochism. Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. Why do you say that trait made you who you are today?
Because I'm not afraid of pain or pressure. And okay, so hear me out.
All right.
I think I was raised in a little bit of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a lot of that kind of growing up, or portions of it here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I mentally kind of got okay with, like, beating myself up almost.
Yeah.
And then getting into the place where it's like, oh, this is uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I like this. I like that feeling of like, is shit going south or is it going north?
Yeah, I have no. Yeah, not the fear of the unknown. Yours is more of the curious of the unknown.
Right. Which can be a problem, Brett, because in sales, like, sometimes I push all the chips in.
Yeah.
And that can be a bad thing sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I really like. Sometimes I move before I act, or I move before I think.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, the majority of the time, it works out pretty good.
Yeah.
But there are other times where I'm like, all right, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Right. And I get stung, and sometimes it takes me a little bit. I always learn. right? And I think that's the biggest thing. But kind of going back to it, like,
Yeah.
why resilience for you?
I just feel like resilience has built this like callus where when something bad happens now, it's like instead of a blaming circumstances, it's more of a okay, we're here. What do I need to get?
Yeah.
What do I need to do to get out of this situation?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel like resilience has made me the person who I am today. And I would say within that, putting myself in voluntary discomfort. I think just playing football, that was voluntary discomfort. Um, Also, in my football career, I think I've only had maybe 2 winning seasons,
Yeah.
and this from middle school to my end of my college career.
Yeah.
So outside of 2 winning seasons, we've sucked.
Yeah.
So
And so what's crazy about this is like you used to be so tied to an outcome.
right,
Um, I remember I remember being on the football team, and bro, you would get physically upset
oh yeah, yeah,
when it was a loss,
yeah.
and especially when it was a close loss, and I'd just be like, right now, keep in mind. You were a star player, and I was just the dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which is understandable.
Right, right,
But I've never been so tied to an outcome.
right. And I think that's my gift and curse.
Yeah.
That's my gift and curse. Just how like Mecca. That's how you say
Masochism.
just how you
Masochism.
just how you say masochism is your gift and curse.
Yeah.
Me being so out like goal and outcome like oriented, that's
Yeah.
a gift and curse as well. Because when I don't achieve it, now I'm like damn, fuck,
Yeah.
I'm a lose, all
Yeah.
this self pity, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
And I think over time, like because like my football career, also like you know getting injured, just different random injuries happening to me. Um, you know, even the college I went to a military school. Um, that was probably the hardest 4.5 years ever because I'm going from high school where hey, good at football, whatever. Now you're going to this like culture shock where like you were an eagle in high school,
Yeah.
now you're a penguin,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's the part where it is a culture shock.
Yeah.
And so going through that and going through challenges within school where I was almost academically ineligible, almost got kicked out of school for plagiarizing in my freshman year. Yeah. Uh, Had to go to school, had to go to summer school because I failed. I will always fail a class. I feel like I average a one fail class each semester. So had to go to summer school. There was one summer I had to stay there the whole summer. Like they're just these voluntary discomforts because it's all like this is all stuff I chose. Like, I
Yeah.
chose to go to the military school. I chose to go. I chose to play football. You know,
What was it? Why did you choose a military school?
that was the only school that was paying for my. It was a business move.
Yeah.
There was the only school that was paying for my like college.
Mm.
That was the only school. Like everybody else, one, I didn't really get a lot of offers like that. Two,
Which is crazy to me.
yeah, I mean it's you gotta look like I was like the position I was playing. I was small,
Yeah.
and I was slower. Like, so, but I was still able to make plays, whatever.
Yeah.
But people in the position I was playing, which I was playing safety, they want guys more like 6'2", like two, 15, and can like blazing speed. And I just didn't have that. So
Which is crazy to me.
yeah.
What do you think? Who was that? Who was that cat? Played Union Grove.
TJ Moon.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him?
I played him in college.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He played running back.
What school did you go to?
University of Richmond.
Really?
Yeah, we was in the
I
same.
thought for sure he'd go like top tier.
Yeah, I did too. That's why I was. It was funny because when we played that team, I think I had made a tackle on him. I'm like, bro, what you do? Like, what are you doing here?
Mm.
So it's funny where people end up, but
Yeah.
but yeah, like
Cause that was like your rival, bro.
yeah,
I'm gonna be real. Like, if thinking back on it, I was like, damn, he smoked Alex. Like, you know what I mean? Like that whole process was just mind blowing to me.
yeah,
I was like, man, Alex is the fastest guy I know. Like Adonis was fast,
yeah.
but I was like, Alex is the fastest guy I know, and TJ's just so fast.
So this is a good segue to another harsh truth.
Uh-huh.
There's always somebody bigger,
Mm-hmm.
faster,
Yeah.
stronger, smarter, can take can do a task faster than you, or there's always somebody better than you.
Yeah.
And that was another harsh, like
Yeah.
because of football. That's what football taught me. Like there's somebody out there that's twice your size and is a better all around player.
Yeah.
And so that was another harsh reality where I was like, I had to accept.
Yeah.
Accept and then come up with the action of like, okay, I know he's bigger, faster, and stronger, but how can I make this? How can I essentially win?
Yeah.
So I think that's what that harsh reality, like playing guys like TJ Moon, who was like bigger than me and was faster, and then playing, even playing with guys on my team, who were bigger and faster and stronger than I was, but didn't necessarily have the grades.
Yeah.
So I think that's one harsh reality where that was an ego check.
Yeah.
That was like, which leads into this next one where it's like, hey, you're not hot shit.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not as special as you think you are.
Yeah.
And that one took, like, transparently speaking, that took a little time for me to be like, okay, I'm not what I think I am.
Yeah.
Like, and that was like that was one of the harsh realities I was listening to with the Chris Williamson podcast, where he was talking about how, like, hey, you're not as important as you think you are.
Yeah.
People really don't care about what you're going through. And it's not to say like they won't listen or they won't hear you out, but they got their own stuff they're going through.
Right.
So it's really more of a, hey, I hear you and I empathize with you, but I got my own shit going on. It was like, you remember when you were getting married and I had called you and I was like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I remember because I was living in Charlotte at the time, I had came home and we had hung out, went to the gym. He was like, bro, check this out. And you showed me everything and I was like, oh shit. Maybe it's not as bad as bad as I thought.
going back to, like I said, man,
Right.
I'll risk it all
Right.
sometimes.
Right. But again, that harsh reality, yeah, and getting back to like the overall theme of like these harsh realities are not meant to like discourage you. They're meant to make you stronger.
Lessons learned.
Yeah, lessons learned. And I truly feel like the quicker you make peace with these harsh realities, the better and more resilient you become.
Yeah.
Because if I've accepted that one, there's somebody out there that's better than me, that means I'm going to continue. I'm just going to keep grinding and keep working hard. That's a result of that, of me making peace with that harsh reality. If I make peace with, hey, nobody's really going to, you can blame everybody, blame all these external stuff that's happening, but nobody's really going to save you. You need to figure it out. Once I make peace with that, then I'm gonna go ahead and put it into action that, okay, I know nobody's gonna save me out of this situation. So how can I get myself out of this bad situation?
Right.
So the quicker you make peace with these harsh realities, the more resilient you're gonna be, and it's just gonna make you a stronger individual.
That's it. That's it. And I think, if you can take the time to start realizing the things that you've been through and take out the victim mentality of things, you're gonna start realizing like, oh, I have made it through a decent amount, or
Yeah.
or I haven't, and maybe I need to start addressing that. Maybe I always quit at the sign of a hard thing, or maybe I'm always blaming others for my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? And not to say that I'm perfect by any means, and yeah, if I get in like get in an argument with your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro, you're letting that emotional conversation happen.
Yeah.
Right. Well, oh well, she did this or whatever. Or I personally do that, right? Where I'm like, oh, but she did this, or nah, this isn't my fault. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Right.
And when you're in that space, nothing is beneficial.
And you won't get nothing done.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no progress.
Right.
Right. Um, and I think the faster you can start getting into that mindset of like, okay, I've got to start making a change in this dynamic or whatever it is.
Right.
The faster you can start doing that, and the faster you can start realizing when things need to change, and start making some action towards that.
Yeah.
The easier things start becoming, because I explained it to one of my guys one time as you kind of go through life, like you're like a Honda Civic, right?
Yeah.
That just
Rolling.
bro, it's just rolling.
It's rolling.
It's going through,
Yeah.
whatever, and it's gonna take you 300,000 miles, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say it's just a normal car, right? And red lines at like 6 or 5. You hit the gas and it starts redlining at 5, and that's it. And then you're like, man, this car needs a cold air intake or something, or I need to soup up the engine. And these things that you add to the engine, and the you add a new transmission or whatever, you start realizing that those things that you add to that car are the life experiences and the things that you start going through.
Yes.
And then that red line is not at 5 anymore. Now it's at 6, and then it gets to 7.
Yeah.
So the things that used to redline you and stress you out at 5,
Yeah.
are no longer there. They're just normal activities. Like you're just going through things.
Yeah.
The first time that I went completely broke, I was like, this is it. I'm done. I can't. I gotta go get a job.
Yeah.
Right. The first time that my bank account went less than blank amount, I was like, that's it, dude. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm cooked.
Yeah.
And then you start realizing, like, okay, I just need to get better at this. I need to read this book. I need to to learn this skill
Right.
of
Or-
money management or blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
Yep. Yep.
And that's just a small example. And then
Very applicable. It can apply
Right.
to everybody.
the first time that you go through a breakup and then you go through a second breakup and it's not that hard. The first time that you have to sit down and do a task for the first time.
Mhm.
And then you start realizing like, oh, bro, I can do this task in my sleep. The first time you play chess, you don't know what to do. And then you play it again and you play it again and you're like, oh, okay, so this piece goes here, this piece goes here, I can do this.
Start strategizing. Yeah.
Right. You start learning the game.
Right.
And that's where that red line starts becoming at 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
And now you're hammering the gas and you're flying down the interstate.
Yeah.
And that's not even close to being redlined yet.
Yeah. I think and they said this in the Chris Williamson podcast is like when you're going through those life experiences, right? Where you're redlining, man, you're not. Let me slow down. So motivation. When you get through certain life experiences, it's important to celebrate the achievement of it. And I'm not saying celebrate like throw a party or whatever, but I think what helps you to keep going and to keep like getting after it is celebrating those like little wins, right? Those wins that like for example, your situation you told me about today, like last month it wasn't looking good. Now you done came up, so that's a win where it's like okay, cool. Like I wasn't sure what it was gonna look like last month, but now I've got here. That's great. What can I do to continue to build on this win that I have, and so I won't end up where I was last month.
Yeah.
So I think celebrating those wins help you to one, give you a little bit of momentum. Like, okay, this is a good thing. Let's continue to build on it. But two, I think what's important is celebrate the win, but also find. It's going to sound kind of ass backwards, but within the win, find a loss that you can improve on.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might have won in the overall situation, but there's probably something in the process of getting to the W where you could have been like, okay, I could have tweaked this a little bit, even though I still got to where I wanted to, but I could still tweak this here. I can get better here. I can get better here. Because I feel like once you do that, you're not so outcome focused.
Yeah.
Right? You're more focused on, okay, how can I make this system, this process more ironclad where I can just make it like a well-oiled machine where instead of getting 2 wins, I can get 3 wins. Now I can get 4 wins. And then, you still have losses, but they're not so detrimental to where it's going to take you out of your system.
So let me show you this. So every day, like I kind of build out, I keep my notebook, right?
Right.
So what you're talking about is I was going through like the last week trying to close that deal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so invested in it
Mm-hmm.
that I was moving fast. Like I need to get this done, get this squared away, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I was able to kind of at the end of the day, I was kind of processing before I left the office.
Slow down.
Because I noticed that I was going so fast, going through things that I was having to go back and fix things.
Yeah.
Or I would send something out and it wouldn't be exactly the way that I needed it to be.
Right.
And then I'd have to go back in, fix it, and then resend it out.
Mhm.
Which ultimately I don't like the way that looks.
Right.
Like if I send something out to you, I want it to be dialed in, I want it to be squared away.
Yeah.
You feel confident enough that, obviously it's a contract, you should read it, but feel confident enough that you just sign it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not giving that kind of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
What I was doing was making you read the contract fully.
Yep.
And then if you needed something tweaked, I would tweak it.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Right.
Yes, it got the deal done
Mm-hmm.
and everything closed and everything was fine.
Right.
But it was not the way that I would have preferred it to be.
Do
So
you feel
slow down?
so that example, right? Do you feel like if you discover you discover a lesson learned in your overall win?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like, and I feel like this can happen to all of us, if we don't go back, even though we got the win, if you didn't go back and have that self accountable moment where you're like, okay, even though I got the deal done, if you didn't like how like you sent a contract or whatever, you sent it and you had them read it, then you're essentially letting them tell you like, hey, this is what needs to be edited, adjusted. Do you feel like if you didn't like if you do you feel like what am I trying to say?
It wouldn't have changed the outcome.
Okay.
It wouldn't have changed the outcome, but I could be better there.
Right. So you don't think it's a if you didn't like let's say you didn't really you just left it as it is.
Mhm.
Do you think it could get to a point where it can bite you
Yeah.
in the ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know that I'm going to come across some people that maybe I don't have a fully built relationship with.
Right.
And I send them the contract and they're like, oh, this guy's terrible.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Ultimately, yeah, there's always that perspective.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't really know what the perspective is. I don't know how these businessmen see me
Mm-hmm.
as a businessman and a person, but I would imagine that if I would have gotten that, I probably would be like, all right, so I definitely need to read this. My guy was like, yeah, he was just signing things,
Right.
and because he felt that confidence and understood that
The trust was there.
I was not going to let anything bad happen.
Right.
So just ultimately, I feel like that's something that critiquing myself,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
being in that moment where I do need to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
I do need to take my time on whether it be writing a contract or so and so and so and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end it on this note here. So I would like for you to give me one harsh truth that's related to the mind, to the body. Well, I mean, is give me a harsh truth for that's related to the mind, give me a harsh truth that's related to the body, and give me a harsh truth that is related to the spirit. And
And I already got you.
okay, go ahead.
And I'm not going to change it from my beginning
Okay.
because I think that applies to all of it.
Yeah.
What was the quote? Oh, what was the one that you read out in the beginning?
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, I want to get it verbatim.
Yep. No one.
No, yeah. What we just went through.
Oh, the blame circumstance?
Yes.
Blaming circumstances never changes them.
That's it. That's across the board,
Mm-hmm.
right? Mind, if you continuously blame others for your problems and your situations, you will never grow mentally.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you will go the opposite way.
Yeah.
Because everything in here is a problem and you are no longer a solution driven person, right? You're caught up in bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Second piece, body. You go to the gym. Well, I can't go to the gym because everybody there is gonna make fun of me, right? And the only reason they would make fun of you is because you're fat and ugly, right? But I'm not whatever.
Right,
You get what I'm
mindset.
saying?
Yeah.
That whole idea is based off of your current actions and what you've done up to this point.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, because I went through this one. I don't want to go to the gym because I'm small, right? Or I'm not gonna be able to lift as much as everybody else. But you cannot get to the point of lifting more if you do not go.
Right.
I don't want to go to jujitsu because I don't want to get choked out by a girl again. Right?
Yeah.
But the only way not to get choked out by a little girl is to go to jujitsu and learn jujitsu. Right? And everything is based off of action.
Right.
And then the soul, dude. You continuously do that. You're doing nothing but negativity to your soul.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I can't pray today because I don't have time because I have to go to work. And not to say that I pray every day, but I do say thank you every single morning and every single night.
Yeah, like regarding like I'm gonna get into mine, but I want to expound on the spirit part of it. Imagine if God told us, yeah, Alex Nass, I got these other people I gotta say I can't deal with that. Like imagine if God
I can't carry your problems.
I can't carry your problems today, man. Y'all gonna have to figure it out. Like imagine if God did that with us. Like imagine like in the situation that you were in, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if God said, you know what, I ain't gonna bless Addison this month.
Right.
He gonna, I don't got time for him. I got other things I gotta do.
Yeah.
Like I look at it like this, man. If God gives us His mercy, time, grace, and all that, why can't we give time to like you said, thank Him, pray, continue to honor Him? Like, why can't we give time to Him, but He gives time to us?
Yeah.
So I look at, it's a.
And I want to say this, like, I'm not the most religious person in the world, right?
I'm
like, I don't do everything correctly. I don't do it always right, but there was one thing that I've noticed in my life is gratitude creates prosperity. Maybe I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
No, that's I know where you're going.
And I don't mean that just financially.
Yeah.
I mean just overall. When I'm waking up in the morning, I'm like, and sometimes it's not perfectly in the morning, right? Like, but it will always happen. Either I'm driving to work or whatever. I'm like, man, I didn't say thank you this morning. Like mentally, I'm like, thank you. Like, just processing, right?
Yeah. And
so maybe I'm not always like the most perfect person when it comes to like praying and being and giving to God, but like I do say thank you every day, and I notice when I am doing that, the moment that I forget and I get caught up in all the daily stuff, I realize that I start to digress.
Yeah, it kind of throws your day off.
Yeah. And not only just that, but like over the period of time, like, oh, my business isn't doing as good, or I'm not as like dialed in as I should be.
Yeah.
And it affects me personally. So that's just something that I've realized when I am in that gratitude place and I'm doing the things that I need to be doing and I'm putting in the action and being grateful. Things tend to be a little bit easier on me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I like it.
Go ahead.
So one harsh reality that I have learned when it involves the mind is, and we talked about it in a previous episode, if you're not consistently learning, you will make yourself obsolete quicker than you think. And what I mean is we should always be learning, whether it's a new skill or reading a new book or talking with different people that have different perspective on things. Like we should always be in learning mode because that what contributes to us continuing to grow and not remain stagnant. So that's one harsh reality when it comes to the mind is if you're not consistently trying to learn or trying to positively feed your mind with with being in the right environment, with what you digest, and not just food, but what you read and whatever, you will make yourself obsolete very quick. And you see this happen you see this happen pretty often with people where people feel like they get to a certain age where they can't learn a new skill or they can't learn something new from a book or they can't learn something new from somebody that's younger than them. So if you're not in a mindset to always learn something new, you will make yourself obsolete.
Yeah.
When it comes to the body, and this is a harsh reality that me personally I'm still wrestling with. Um, Mortality. You are going to get old. You are not going to be able to do the things that you were able to do years ago. The people that you love and care about will eventually pass away. We're only here for a limited amount of time. And again, this is still a reality where it's like a harsh reality where it's like, wow, like eventually we're going to get old. We're going to be, and sometimes old, just from what I've seen, sometimes old people get forgotten about.
Yeah.
They kind of like, and it will tie back to what they were saying in Chris Williams' podcast, where it's like you do all these great things, like when you were younger and everything, but as soon as you get older and time has passed, there might be some people that appreciate like what you've done, but majority of people are not going to really care or know like what you did.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, with that thought, and I'm still making peace with it, is one, because we are on this earth for a limited amount of time, you need to start doing the things that are going to be beneficial for not only your mind, but for your health. And you need to figure out what you need to figure out the things that align with your purpose. And if they don't align with your purpose, you need to exclude them. And so that's why I think with the body, where it's like you got to do what's beneficial for you. Because if we continue to live, and this is me talking to myself, if you continue to live to try to live up to other people's expectations about you, or try to people please, or not, you don't want to let people down, you're only, you're really killing yourself because of the fact that you're doing things for other people. You're not doing things for your purpose. Because a lot of times people's expectations and people's thoughts about you might not align with your purpose. So when it comes to the body, focus on figure out what your purpose is and continue to work towards that. And understand that you are going to eventually pass away, and the ones that you love are eventually going to pass away. So what you need to do now, and what we talked about, is Be grateful for the people that you value in your life. Be grateful for them. And because we only have limited time on this earth, you need to do what you feel is right for you.
Yeah.
And then the spirit part of this, a harsh reality that I learned revolving the spirit is I realized that um one, that I am not God, so I can't save people. You want the best for people, whether it's family, friends, whatever, but it's not your job to save them. You can encourage them, you can give them wisdom, you can give them advice on what to do or how to do it, but ultimately it's not my job to save it. So if they're going down a path where you see it's like, I don't agree, then it's okay to love people from a distance.
Yeah.
And so that's one harsh reality involving the spirit. And then the other one, and I'll end this here, is I personally feel like when I lean on my own understanding about stuff and I'm not doing like we talked about, I'm not praying or I'm not continuing to work on my relationship with God because I'm in the same boat. I'm not perfect either, but when I don't continue to work on that relationship with God, I realize that I don't have a peace about me.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's like one of those things where you said, when I don't give thanks, it's like you're kind of getting into this rabbit hole where like now you're becoming more self-reliant on yourself and what you can do versus like what you and God can do. Because I feel like once you get more focused on like, oh, I'm here because I did this, which that's partially true because you did the work. But I think also a part of showing gratitude is saying like, God, I appreciate you putting me in these positions where I can grow.
Yeah.
And, regardless if it's good or bad, allow me to see the lessons learned and ultimately help me to be the best servant I can be to you.
Yeah.
So acknowledge acknowledge for me it's acknowledging God in your losses and your wins and being grateful for those losses and wins.
Right.
Um, so yeah, those are my harsh realities for the mind, the body, and the spirit. So, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of
3 Pillars of Man.
How I always like to end these episodes. Please like, share, subscribe. We are just ultimately two brothers from different mothers who are coming together to have great conversations and discussions about how we can continue to be the best and continue to improve our mind, body, and spirit. Love y'all. Peace.